The world is loud, deafening, desperate, drowning in the need to be seen and heard. It screams for attention, begs for validation, and thrives on noise. People measure their worth in likes, in claps, in hollow praises that vanish as quickly as they come. But true power doesn't scream. It doesn't beg. It doesn't need to. True power is silent. It's the force that doesn't announce itself, but makes its presence undeniable. It's the storm that gathers without warning, the shadow that lingers even when the light is gone. It's felt in the tension of a room, in the unshakable presence of someone who doesn't need to prove themselves, because their actions have already done that. If you're still chasing applause, you're already weak, because the strongest don't seek approval. They build empires in the dark. They move with precision. They work while others sleep. They prepare while others celebrate. And when they finally rise, the world isn't ready. So ask yourself, are you here to be noticed, or are you here to dominate? Are you another voice in the noise, or are you the silence that demands respect? If you're ready to embrace the darkness, to grind in solitude, to sharpen yourself into something unstoppable, then this is for you. Welcome to the art of silent dominance. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most dangerous. Noise is a distraction, a desperate attempt to be noticed, to feel significant. But true power doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't demand recognition. It doesn't shout to be heard. True power exists in its own space, untouched by the need for validation. It's in the way you carry yourself, in the way your presence alone shifts the atmosphere. It's in the way people stop and take notice, not because you ask them to, but because they can feel the weight of who you are. The weak need noise because they fear being forgotten. They overcompensate with words, with volume, with empty displays of confidence. But the strong don't chase recognition. They don't need to prove anything. They move with certainty. They act with precision, and they dominate without uttering a single unnecessary word. Their silence is not absence. It's presence. It's control. It's the warning before the inevitable. Silence is not weakness. It's restraint. It's the patience of a predator watching its prey. It's the calm before the storm, the stillness before the strike. Those who understand its power become untouchable. They do not waste energy on meaningless noise. They conserve it, refine it, and release it only when it matters most. Master silence, and the world will feel you before they hear you. Master presence, and you will never have to prove your strength. It will already be known. Noise is the refuge of the insecure. It's the desperate cry of those who fear their own insignificance. They talk the loudest, boast the most, and fill the silence with empty promises. Because deep down, they know the truth. They know their actions don't align with their words. They know that without the noise, there's nothing left but the reality of who they truly are. And that terrifies them. Noise is a mask, a shield, a distraction. The weak use it to create an illusion of strength, hoping that if they speak with enough confidence, others will believe them. But words are fragile. They can be spoken easily, but when tested against reality, they crumble. And when the moment of truth arrives, when action is required, those who relied on noise will be exposed. Their bravado will collapse. Their words will turn to dust. The strong don't seek validation through noise. They don't waste energy trying to prove themselves to those who don't matter. They know that true strength is not spoken. It's demonstrated. It's in the way they move, the way they carry themselves, the way they make an impact without uttering a single unnecessary word. They don't tell you they're coming. They arrive. They don't promise victory. They achieve it. They don't chase recognition, they command respect. And when the time comes, their silence will be deafening. Their presence alone will drown out the noise of the weak. Because in the end, noise fades. But results speak for themselves. Success doesn't need a press release. It doesn't need permission, validation, or approval. It doesn't require a stage, a microphone, or an audience. True success speaks for itself, louder than any words ever could. The weak crave recognition before they've earned it. They boast, they flaunt, they seek applause for battles they haven't even fought. But those who understand power know that words mean nothing without proof. They don't waste time trying to convince the world of their greatness. They build it step by step in silence. They endure the struggle, the failures, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices that no one sees. They sharpen themselves in the darkness, perfecting their craft, preparing for the moment when their results will be undeniable. Every scar, every ounce of pain, every moment of doubt that they push through, it all adds up. And when the world finally takes notice, there will be no need for explanations, no need for justification. The proof will be in the results. The weight of their success will be felt before a single word is spoken, because real power doesn't come from talking. It comes from doing, from executing, from delivering. And when you truly dominate, you won't have to say a thing. They'll see it, they'll feel it, and they'll know. Mastery isn't born in the spotlight. It isn't built on empty praise, fleeting validation, or the approval of the crowd. It's forged in the shadows, in the quiet, unseen hours when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one cares. It's in the relentless repetition, the painful failures, the small daily improvements that add up over time. It's in the discipline to keep going when there's no reward, no recognition, no guarantee of success. Just the unshakable belief that every second of effort will pay off in ways others can't yet see. Most people will never understand this. They only see the final result, the skill, the power, the dominance. They don't see the countless sacrifices, the nights spent refining, the days filled with struggle, the battles fought alone. They don't see the bruises, the setbacks, the moments of doubt that had to be crushed and overcome. But you do, because you live it. You walk this path knowing that mastery is not a group effort. It's a lonely road, a road without applause, without shortcuts, without guarantees. And yet, you keep walking, because you understand something the weak never will. True mastery doesn't need recognition. It doesn't need permission. It doesn't beg for validation. It only demands one thing: your absolute commitment, your willingness to embrace the solitude, to endure the silence, to sharpen your edge until there is no competition, only you standing at the top. And when the day comes, when you finally step out of the shadows, the world will not just see your greatness, they will feel it. Because mastery, once achieved, is undeniable. And those who doubted, those who ignored, those who thought they could overlook you, will have no choice but to acknowledge the force you have become. Patience is not weakness. It is not inaction. It is not simply waiting and hoping for something to change. Patience is control. It is the discipline to restrain yourself when others are reckless. It is the wisdom to prepare while others waste time chasing shortcuts. It is the ability to stand still when the world pressures you to move, knowing that your time will come. And when it does, you will be unstoppable. The strongest do not crave instant recognition. They do not beg for attention. They do not seek premature applause, because they understand that true power is not built overnight. It is cultivated, sharpened, refined in silence. They wait, not out of fear, but out of strategy. While others rush to be seen, they move in calculated steps. While others act on impulse, they master precision. And while others burn out in their desperate attempts to prove themselves, the strong endure, biding their time until their dominance is unquestionable. Patience is a weapon. It is the art of letting the world underestimate you, of allowing your enemies to grow comfortable, to believe they are ahead, to assume they have won. And just when they think you have faded, just when they begin to relax, that is when you strike, not with noise, not with desperation, but with absolute certainty, with an impact so undeniable, they will realize too late that you were never behind. You were always in control. The impatient seek recognition. The patient sees power. And when the dust settles, it is not the ones who rushed that remain standing. It is the ones who prepared. Doubt is not a roadblock. It's a catalyst. Every skeptic, every naysayer, every voice that ever told you that you couldn't, wouldn't, or shouldn't, those aren't signs to stop. They're fuel. They're the fire that burns in the pit of your soul, the energy that drives you when nothing else will. Because the truth is, those who doubt you are not your enemies. They are not barriers to your success. They are simply placeholders, temporary figures whose words will soon be swallowed by the weight of their own regret. Greatness is not handed to those who seek approval. It is earned by those who use doubt as a weapon. The weak let it break them. They let the opinions of others poison their will, cloud their ambition, and convince them to quit before they've even begun. But the strong turn doubt into drive. They take every insult, every dismissal, every word spoken against them, and they forge it into something unstoppable. They work in silence while the skeptics talk. They build while the naysayers laugh. And by the time the world realizes what's happened, it's too late. Success is already theirs. And when that moment comes, when your victories are undeniable, when your name is spoken with respect by those who once mocked you, those who doubted will feel it. They will remember every word they ever spoke against you. They will see the results they never believed possible, and they will regret ever standing in your way. But by then, you'll be too far ahead to care, too high above to hear their apologies, too consumed by your own greatness to acknowledge those who failed to see it. Doubt doesn't break the strong, it builds them. It is the pressure that turns coal into diamonds, the resistance that forges legends. And when you shine, you won't need to remind them of their doubt. Your success will do it for you. Revenge isn't about words. It's not about anger, not about wasting energy on those who never believed in you. True revenge isn't fought in arguments. It's won in silence. It's built in discipline. It's forged in the relentless pursuit of your own greatness. Because nothing shatters doubt, nothing silences criticism, and nothing humbles an enemy more than undeniable success. You don't need to beg for respect. You don't need to defend your dreams. You don't need to waste time explaining yourself to those too blind to see your potential. The only thing you need to do is rise, work, grind. Build yourself into something so unstoppable, so untouchable, that their words lose all meaning. Every insult, every dismissal, every ounce of doubt they ever threw at you will be swallowed by the weight of your achievements. And then the silence will come. The same voices that mocked you will have nothing left to say. The same people who doubted you will be forced to watch as you become everything they said you couldn't. And by then, their opinions won't matter because you will have already won. They won't just see your success. They will feel it. They will regret underestimating you. And they will realize too late that they were never your competition. You were always playing at a level they couldn't reach. Success is the ultimate revenge. It is the only proof you will ever need. It is the moment when you no longer need to respond, because your results have already spoken for you. And when they look at you, they won't see someone to doubt. They'll see someone to fear. Perception is an illusion, a carefully crafted mask, a stage act designed to deceive the weak-minded. It is fragile, built on appearances, on empty words, on the desperate hope that no one will test it. But reality is merciless. It doesn't care about how you present yourself, what image you try to uphold, or how loudly you claim to be strong. Reality demands proof. It separates those who pretend from those who perform, those who talk from those who execute, and those who seek validation from those who command respect. Anyone can wear the mask of strength. They can flex, they can boast, they can create the illusion of dominance. But when the moment of truth arrives, when pressure is applied, when adversity strikes, when the weight of real battle crashes down, only one thing matters. Can you back it up? Can you endure? Can you deliver? The weak hide behind perception because they fear the truth. They know that the moment their strength is tested, their illusion will shatter and they will be exposed for what they really are, frauds. But the strong do not need masks. They do not need to pretend, because their power is real, their skills are earned, and their dominance is unquestionable. They know that when the dust settles, when the facades fall, and when reality takes control, the ones who remain standing are the ones who were never faking in the first place. So let them talk, let them pose, let them act, let them build castles of words and illusions. Because when the real test comes, when reality demands proof, they will crumble under the weight of their own deception. And you will stand tall, because your strength isn't a perception, it's a reality. Overconfidence is a slow poison. It blinds the arrogant, lulls them into a false sense of invincibility, and convinces them that they are beyond danger. They stop looking over their shoulder. They stop preparing. They believe they have already won. And that's when they are at their weakest. That's when you strike. The strongest do not rush. They do not waste energy on pointless battles or meaningless displays of power. They wait. They observe. They let the arrogant celebrate victories they haven't truly earned. They let them grow complacent. Let them lower their guard. Let them believe they have already conquered the battlefield. And just when they least expect it, just when they have convinced themselves that they are untouchable, that's when the real threat arrives. That's when you move, because true power is not loud. It doesn't need to announce itself. It moves in silence, in the shadows, in the spaces where the arrogant forget to look. The greatest threats are never the ones that boast the loudest. They are the ones you never see coming until it's too late. And when the strike lands, it isn't reckless, it isn't emotional. It is calculated, precise, unforgiving. The arrogant will scramble, they will panic. They will realize too late that their confidence was their downfall. And you will remain untouchable, not because you were louder, not because you were reckless, but because you were patient, because you knew that power isn't about being seen. It's about knowing exactly when to make your presence felt. So let them laugh. Let them believe they are above you. Let them grow blind in their own arrogance. And when the time is right, remind them why underestimating you was their greatest mistake. The reckoning is not a possibility. It is a certainty. It is the moment when everything they said, every insult they hurled, every doubt they cast, is buried under the undeniable weight of your success. They will try to rewrite history, to pretend they never doubted you, to act as if they always saw your potential, but the truth will remain. They never believed, and you never needed them to, because this was always inevitable. Your rise, your triumph, your dominance, it was never in question. It was only a matter of time. And when that time comes, the weak will fall silent. The skeptics will crumble under the weight of their own regret. The same mouths that once mocked you will have nothing left to say, because success erases doubt. It turns whispers of ridicule into echoes of admiration. It turns enemies into spectators and doubters into believers. And you won't need their apologies. You won't need their validation. You won't need to remind them of their words, because they will already hear them, repeating in their own minds like a curse. They will watch, powerless, as you ascend beyond their reach, beyond their comprehension, beyond anything they ever imagined possible. And long after the dust settles, long after the reckoning has passed, one truth will remain. You were never meant to be overlooked. You were never meant to be doubted. You were always meant to rise. If this resonated with you, if you feel that fire burning inside, that hunger for something greater, then it's time to make a choice. The path of silent dominance isn't for everyone. It's not for the weak, the hesitant, or those who seek approval. It's for those who are ready to embrace the darkness, to grind when no one is watching, to build in the shadows while the rest chase applause. Because true power doesn't beg to be seen. It doesn't ask for permission. It rises, unstoppable, undeniable, inevitable. So if you're ready to step into that mindset, if you're ready to let your actions speak louder than words, then hit that subscribe button. This is just the beginning. The journey ahead will be brutal, demanding, and relentless, but it will be worth it. And I'll be here every step of the way, sharpening your mindset, fueling your fire, and pushing you to become something they never saw coming. Subscribe now, and let's rise together, silently, powerfully, and without limits. Because the world won't be ready for what you're about to become